but just like Mr.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, call this regular council meeting, March 24th, 2015, to order. And Mr. Lee has prayer.
Bow your head. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the promise of springtime, the hope of renewal and growth. And just like the spring, we ask this for our village. Please give the members of this council the strength of character and knowledge to serve the citizens of this village to the best of our abilities, to make decisions for the benefit of all. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll.
Roll call. Here. Dries. Walter.
Here.
Hermes.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Walther.
Here.
Moore.
Here. And Mr. Dries has an excused absence, and also our manager, Yvonne Kovac. All right. Approval of minutes of the February 24th regular council meeting.
Can I have a correction to the agenda first?
Okay.
Without objection, I request the removal of ordinance number 2015-01-F, as final numbers are not yet available.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Passes. Okay, now approval of minutes of the February 24th regular council meeting, and that's it.
Move to approve the minutes?
Okay.
Second.
So moved. Minutes approved. All right, this is the time for residents to comment on matters before council or ask questions of concern to them. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 2 minutes. Go ahead. Anybody?
Say that 5 times real quick.
Okay, seeing no one. Reports of village officials, municipal manager Yvonne Kovac, and I'll report a couple things that I know she's talking about. The pool will be opening, coming up soon, and so there was an ad, I think, in the journal, about the swimming pool opens May 23rd. You can get your applications online at greenhillsohio.us or at the Greenhills Municipal Building. And I know she also had something, I think, in the journal about leaf collection starting in April, but I forget in 2 days, or the 2 weeks that the leaf collection is going on. But that's also in the journal. So check your journal for that. And then she's still working on getting a date for having Arbor Day for the village.
Come in.
And also Barrett Paving has started construction on Whitten Road.
That's
Got it? Oh, okay, yes.
Acknowledged.
Spring leaf collection will be April the 13th to the 17th. So rake your leaves out to the curb. If they're blocked by cars, they may not be able to get them. And as always, you can bag your leaves and Grumpy will take them.
13th through the 17th.
Correct. And anyway, they're repairing the catch basins now, and they'll do full depth base repairs. They're scheduled to be complete by May 15th for that section of Winton from Cromwell, Farragut to the south to the corporate lines. And I think also the section across from the shopping center, we're working with this contractor to have them plane the portion where it's all breaking up and the drainage is real bad and resurface that area.
So is that gonna be resurfaced at that time, they're just working on,
Though, you mean that bad spot?
Mhm.
You know,
well, no, I mean resurfacing everything? Well, when is that happening from Sharon all the way to the?
Oh, well, we've already done the Sharon to Dayton.
Yeah, okay,
Couple
so from
years
Dayton
ago.
until,
So she's still gonna work to try to get a grant to do from Damon down to Cromwell.
gotcha,
We're just gonna repair that bad spot right now, because it won't make it through another winter.
right.
The way it's falling apart.
All right, so Cromwell's it's gonna be repaid from Cromwell to the
South.
Springfield Township.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
And then hopefully the county will do something with Witten Road down to the Y, or past the Y, I guess, down to St. Bart's, it needs to
Yeah.
be resurfaced. Okay, law director, Forbes, anything?
Just my usual update on the municipal income tax uniformity bill or law now. Just want to let you know, you may have seen this in an Ohio Municipal League legislative bulletin, that the Municipal League is going to be undertaking a pretty in-depth analysis of that entire law with the intent of trying to draft basically like a model ordinance that municipalities would be able to adopt to make sure that you're doing everything in compliance with the new law. I've been in touch with the Municipal League. I think they anticipate having that sometime in July, by the beginning of July, make it available for us to see and be able to take steps after that. That's all.
Clerk of Council, Captain Lives.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution numbers 2015-09F, 10F, 11F, 12F, and 15 and 13 TNS were posted as required. The March 15th community calendar and notice of the council retreat of March 8th, 2015, and the rescheduled recreation committee meeting were also posted as required. And notice of the Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals meetings on March 10th, 2015, and cancellation of the work session meeting of March 10th, 15 were posted as required. And I recently attended, actually on March 13th, the Ohio Association of Parliamentarians annual session in Cleveland, Ohio. A very brief business meeting was held, and the remainder of the day was dedicated to education. A very good opportunity to learn more about parliamentary procedure. And just to make you aware, I will be on vacation from March 31st to April 7th. And if there are no questions, that would conclude my report.
All right. Chief of Police, Neil Hardeman.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the things we worked on was providing some information and taking a look at a complaint that the mayor received regarding an accident that had happened last year on Damon Road where a stuck accelerator caused a vehicle to crash into a garage there. We found that there were 4 other accidents on Damon Road in the last several years. The other crashes, one was a side swipe, 2 were collisions with a parked vehicle, 1 was at the intersection up at Damon and Winton. One of those was a hit and run, another involved an intoxicated driver who was arrested. In comparison, during that same time frame, we had 82 reported accidents elsewhere in the village. Also during that time frame, our officers issued 1,466 moving violations. In response to the complaint on Damon, our officers have issued 23 traffic citations since the resident first wrote to the village in May of last year. We also completed the below 100 training that involved all of our officers. That was started in January and concluded this month. The training is aimed at keeping our citizens safer by promoting officer safety and safer habits for officers to keep the number of officer deaths below 100 for an annual period. Training was conducted in Blue Ash by officers from the Ohio State Patrol and locally from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. All of our officers attended, and it was excellent training. As the result of your approval last month, The municipal manager signed a collection agreement with the Ohio Attorney General's local government debt collection program. That will allow us to participate in that program, and we believe give a greater return on collection of our fines. And we're waiting on their approval and signature at this point in time. We submitted this month our annual report to the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, verifying our continuing compliance with the standards that they've developed. Work continues right now on revisions to our policy manual and updating our procedures, and the first portion of that manual has been completed, and we're continuing our work on that. During the month of February, we investigated 5 accidents. That's up from 2 of the same period last year. 2 crimes, 236 other incidents. We had 655 contacts with residents. 181 of those were dispatched by the communication center, and 474 were self-initiated by our officers. We provided assistance to the public in 101 instances. We assisted other agencies 51 times, and we made 44 criminal arrests and 81 traffic arrests.
Any questions, comments? Fire Chief Anthony Spade.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very briefly tonight, statistics through the end of February, since March is not completed yet, we've answered 115 emergency runs. That is versus 142 for the same time period last year, so we're down about 27 runs. Just a reminder that springtime is tornado season, so it's a good time to remind everyone to be prepared. Water, flashlights, batteries, those kinds of things. There's some great resource information on the website ready.gov. And just understand and know that we have a very good disaster plan within the village of Greenhills that involves all of our resources as well as our mutual aid companies. However, just a reminder that if a tornado or something significant does come through town, that our resources will be quickly depleted and be very thin. So the reminder to be prepared is very, very important, because we will get to you, but we will have to prioritize emergencies and do the best we can with the resources that we do have. Part of our disaster plan is that we do have shelters throughout the village, and it takes time to get those open. So got a good plan. Hopefully we'll never have to use it, but if it does happen, we do have that in place. And again, self-preparedness, the ability to self-rescue, those kinds of things become very, very important, because resources do become scarce, especially if something very, very big happens. And I just want to remind everybody that the Easter egg hunt is Easter Sunday, April 5th at 2 p.m. Please be on time, because if you're 5 minutes late, you miss it. That's
If
about
you're
as
3
long as
minutes
it
late,
takes.
you'll miss it.
In 3 minutes. It's kind of like a wedding. Everybody kind of shows up about 5 minutes before it starts, and then it's over in 5 minutes. So, but it's a great tradition here in the village of Greenhills. The fire department's been doing it probably since day one. We put about 2,000 eggs out there on the commons, and it's a great time. So hopefully the weather will cooperate with us, and we'll have a great day. And just remind everyone to be safe out there.
Do you need any help from us for the Easter Sunday?
We're in good shape.
Okay.
And if we have 4 or 5 inches of snow, it's easier to hide the eggs,
Zip it.
That's what I tell her.
We actually have had snow on
Yeah.
Easter Sunday
Yes, we
a
have.
couple of times,
Mhm.
so hopefully that won't happen. That's all I have, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks. All right, mayor's report. I have audited court receipts, and we have a new form now. And so I talked to Matt, because when I first looked at it, I had the same reaction that he did. Maybe there was an error in the report because it was new, but it's a good report. And so the county got $121 from us. The state got $3,579, and to the village was $16,100. $113.56.
Wow.
Wow.
So some people have been working. They're good on that. And I did a proclamation and had hoped to attend this Martin Luther High School Symphony Band over at the Lutheran Church here, but then wasn't able to make it. I'll read the proclamation I did. Glendale, Wisconsin, Greenhills, Ohio, along with Greenbelt, Maryland, share a historic origin, a Spartan beginning, and a pioneer spirit. Whereas music is a universal language, an uplifting reminder of our connections to each other and a joyous noise, and whereas the Martin Luther Symphonic Band of Greendale, Wisconsin, has chosen to share their musical talent with Greenhills, Ohio, I therefore, David Moore, Mayor of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, do hereby claim Friday, March 20th as Martin Luther High School Symphonic Band Day. And so that was read to them. And actually, I think two of my Catherine's, Catherine helped type it up, and Catherine Brokaw helped write that, since she's musically inclined, more so than me. And that's all I have. Committee reports, traffic and safety, Brokaw.
We met yesterday. We discussed some of the old business, and of course, both of them are sitting here, so a lot of the stuff we talked about, they've addressed today. One thing, in the fire, the EMT refresher course will be done by the end of April, so congratulations to the fire department for that. And Chief Spade did say that the staffing is improving, so I'm happy about the volunteers and wanted to congratulate him on that. And then the police, we talked about working on the general orders and just kept up to date on pretty much the stuff he has in his report. So any other questions, let me know. We will meet again April 27th at 4:30.
I just have a question there. Several times, and this morning happened to be one of them, we had the blinking lights on the stop signs. I don't know if that's a recurring problem that we have. I did call in because it was at the rush hour traffic, it was 6:30 or 6:35, something like that.
And it was still happening about 7:30 when I left for work, but it looked like the cruisers were out, so, and I believe a fire engine
There
was
was an auto
out.
accident this morning,
So I
at the
thought
end
it-
of Winton right around that time.
It was an auto accident. That's, when I saw the emergency vehicles, that was
Okay.
my guess.
And I know Yvonne is working on the light situation. We're having some difficulties with Duke. There's some sort of problem causing a drop in the electric voltage and causing the lights to kick on to that system. And the last I heard when I talked to her a couple weeks ago was they're trying to get us to do something, and we don't, and according to our traffic light people, maintenance people that work on it, not do, they're claiming we don't need to do that the problem's on their side. So evidently it's still not resolved then, because they went onto that
Well,
phase this morning.
it takes turns. Sometimes it's the one that on the A section, sometimes it's in the Cromwell section,
Yeah.
sometimes it's in the Baylor,
Right,
and then sometimes it's all three of them.
right, yeah.
And you know, no particular storm caused it or anything like that, so I just,
It's power surges in the line.
Some, yeah,
Okay.
and it has something to do, I think, when they're switching from,
The sensor to the
this-
times.
or something related to the commercial line or something. I don't know if it's usage at the center, I don't really understand. But maybe Yvonne can explain that at the next meeting.
Mayor, I did get an update on that today, after it went out again this morning, because we talked about it in our committee meeting last night. It hadn't gone out recently until this morning. Elix has apparently has a box that can be installed, but I think they're waiting on Duke for something. And we're still waiting, and we're waiting. If anyone has any connections with Duke, that's what the holdup is. So apparently, even though the fluctuations, we believe, are in their lines, we have to pay to install this device to figure out where it is. But we're waiting to get it installed, and certainly the sooner the better.
All right, and finance and audit, do you want to cover for Mr. Dries?
There's no report at this time.
Okay. Great. Recreation Cable TV, Mr. Hermes?
Ooh, wow, that's me, thank you. I have no report right now. I know the Recreation Commission is meeting on the 26th, which is Thursday at 7, and probably have something for you next month. Thanks.
And you have a motion later.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna do a dance motion.
All right. Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Later on, we'll be taking up the first reading of an ordinance that came as a result of our last Rules and Laws committee meeting. The meeting that was scheduled originally for the 23rd of this month was canceled, and we'll take up the remaining issues concerning employee manual changes, as well as the discussion of the current status on medical marijuana facilities, or banning of such facilities in the village on our next meeting, which is April 27th at 10 a.m. That works with you, Maria?
Yes, sir.
Okay. April 27th, 10 a.m. That's all I have right now, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, so the streets, Ms. Walter.
I have some updates. We are still waiting for the confirmation for the funding for the truck. So until we hear anything about that, the truck is not happening for us, for the service department. The other matter has come up to our attention is the paint that is fading on the service building, the one we did last summer. The work was guaranteed, so the vendor will be addressing the matter once it warms up. They cannot do anything right now. The pre-construction meeting for the Winton Road project, the work will start within the next 2 weeks. I went yesterday to the Historical Society meeting, and they are going to try to reach out to you because May is the particular month for historical societies happening in the area and so forth. And they want to plan some activities and perhaps ask some input from you and proclamation of some sort for that reason also. And I didn't have the time to mention when you were the village manager at the beginning of the meeting here, but I will need to find out somehow when the Arbor Day is. I have a tree for you, and it will be delivered 3 days prior to that date, so nothing happens to the tree. Will be taken care of until then, but it will be delivered here for that particular event.
Okay.
And whenever you find that out, that would be great if we can. Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
And that concludes my report. My next meeting will be the same day as the laws and rules, but it will be at 9 o'clock for student services.
Okay. Community Development, Mr. Hall.
Yes, I just want to mention the catch event that we've supported before in conjunction with actually we're going to post it on the website, but there's 2 baseball games that are available to the citizens, and that is on April 25th, Saturday, April 25th, the Cubs versus the Reds. The other date was May 30th, I think it's the Washington Nationals versus the Reds. We'll be getting the banner out and seeing if anybody in our community is interested in supporting these this effort. That concludes my report at this point.
Okay.
But Mr. I just also wanted to add on that they called me to ask for the email address for the newspaper, for the Greenhills Journal, to be able to advertise that as well. And I just happen to have one of the newspapers, and I gave the editors whatever email address and also the circulation one, so they can send it to both of them to put it on the next newspaper, the Greenhills Journal as well.
Okay, moving on to unfinished business. We have resolution number 2015-04-F. Resolution confirming the level of control for the annual appropriations. This resolution was postponed to the March 10th work session meeting, which was canceled. And So in talking with the clerk, we have several options. We can act on this resolution now. We can, what were the other options? Table it?
You can postpone it indefinitely, you can postpone it definitely, you can refer it to a committee,
So,
Or act on it.
or you can act on it, of
or
course.
we can act on it. So
So
do we have any
So-
comments as to?
at this time, discussion is in order.
I thought this was consistent with the auditor's manual,
Right.
is that correct?
Yes.
And I don't see a reason not to do it if they've thought through it and put it in their manual. But that would be my take on it.
And my findings was that there was a technical bulletin issue, and I had done the research on this and saying that certain things were still lacking on it. So that's the reason I probably would be voting no on that.
What was the source of the technical bulletin?
The source was the state's auditor's website. I
Okay.
was, the technical bulletin number 97-010. That's the one I gave you the reference to. I had the call from this gentleman from the auditor's office, and we discussed that, and, my information via phone from him was that it needed to have some more additional information on the categories underneath it, that it was not, complete enough. And for that reason, it requested additional language, let's put it that way, and for that reason, I'm still ambivalent about that, and I
Sure,
probably
and
would vote
coming
no.
from the auditor's office, do they have plans to incorporate those changes? Do you know?
No, I don't know. Nothing else was,
I'm just not, I'm not familiar with when it says a technical bulletin, what that means. I don't know if that's,
I gave a copy of that.
No, I know,
yeah.
I realize that, but I just wasn't sure about, I didn't know what the context was, whether that was something they were planning on changing. And I'm asking, I don't know.
And both Yvonne and Matt had already received copies of that from the auditor's office.
Okay.
I guess if they are following those guidelines, and the ordinance is simply highlighting those guidelines, why do we need to interject specifically all that additional language into this resolution?
But I'm just stating my objections that are going guidelines with what information I have.
Kathy Lives, out of the 5 people that are here, we just need 4 out of the 5, right? If we vote on it?
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm in favor of proceeding with resolution. I don't see quite the same level of objection to it based upon what the auditor has and hasn't said at this point. I'm greatly pleased with the additional financial information that Matt Sanders is sending out each month. I think that gives each and every council member, as well as the mayor, a lot more information about where we stand. And I appreciate that, and I think that goes a long way to resolve any concerns that this resolution may raise.
We have read this resolution in its entirety.
Yes.
Wow. All right,
I'd like
well,
to know, do you have any-
I am ready to move on it as well.
all
I
right.
think all my
Call for a
questions
vote.
have been answered.
Roll call,
Aye.
Halter,
Aye.
Hermes,
Aye.
Lee,
Aye.
Walther,
No.
Resolution number 2015-04-F, resolution confirming the level of control for the annual appropriations taxes. Next item is ordinance 2015-02-F, an ordinance providing for the issuance of unlimited tax redevelopment general obligation refunding bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $615,000 by the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, for the purpose of refunding the previously issued unlimited tax redevelopment general obligation bonds Series 2005, and declaring an emergency. And since Mr. Greaves isn't here, Ms. Brokaw.
Well, I move to suspend the rules requiring reading the ordinance in full and to read for the first time by title only.
We don't vote on that, right? Or do we have to vote
We
on
vote on
suspending and reading it 2 times? Yes. Okay. In its entirety. And do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion, any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, first reading of ordinance number
2015.
2015-02-F, which the mayor has already done, but I will read it again. An ordinance providing for the issuance of unlimited tax redevelopment general obligation refunding bonds and a principal amount not to exceed $615,000 by the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, for the purpose of refunding the previously issued unlimited tax redevelopment general obligation bonds, Series 2005. And I will stop there.
Okay. All right. Next ordinance is 2015-03-LNR, ordinance authorizing the village clerk to forward to the Greenhills Planning Commission proposed amendments to the Greenhills zoning code for review and recommendation. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too move to suspend the rules and reading the ordinance in full and to read for the first time by title only.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to suspend reading the ordinance in its entirety. All those in favor say aye, opposed no.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, ordinance, or motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, this is ordinance number 2015-03-LMR. Ordinance authorizing the village clerk to forward the Greenhills Planning Commission proposed amendments to the Greenhills zoning code for review and recommendation.
All right, Mr.
Cool.
Hermes?
Yes. I'd like to
Motion?
I'd like to make a motion. There's a couple of, on the community programming board, there's a couple of folks from Forest Park as well as one here from Greenhills. They want to re-up their time, which is a 3-year term. So I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Jonathan Palmer, which he just was put on not too long ago, just kind of taking the place of somebody until it was over. So Jonathan Palmer will, and to concur with the City of Forest Parks, reappointments of Rhonda Hobbs and also Jamie McCarter to the Community Programming Board, Regional Council of Governments, and the CPB Holdings Incorporated Board, all for the terms expiring March 31st, 2018. So we just have to I'm making the motion just to concur that that's going to be okay.
Do we have to second that?
Yes.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Calendar? You want to
The
read to it?
traffic and safety meeting will be Monday, April 27th at 4:30.
Street and Services, April 27th at 9 a.m.
Laws and Rules, April 27th at 10 a.m.
Recreation Commission, 26th of March, this Thursday.
Easter egg hunt, Easter Sunday
April
at
5th.
2 p.m.
Don't be late.
Party at Chief's new house, May 31st.
And then I just request as soon as we know anything about the Arbor Day, if I can
Right.
get that as well.
Okay, all right. Okay, hearing none, no further business. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.